In this week's EV news, did it really cost £80 to charge an electric car at Glastonbury? Mercedes set an EV range world record with their EQXX concept. InstaVolt opened their first charging hub in Wales, and MG unveiled a new facelift MG5 for the UK market at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Welcome back to another EV news. I'm so happy that so many of you chose to watch last week's and that we're really getting things back on track. You know the drill by now, get that like button clicked, and if you're new here, I'd massively appreciate it if you'd subscribe and click the bell icon to make sure you're notified whenever I post a new video. Straight into the news then. First up this week is a nasty little story that I saw shared a few times, just suggesting that if you wanted to charge your car at the Glastonbury Festival over the weekend there, you would be charged £80 for the pleasure. It seems preposterous really. That's a huge amount of money that would make you think that you were suddenly buying diesel at a motorway service station, but it seems that there's a little bit more to it than the headline suggests. The article was at Bristol Live, and there's a link in the description as always if you'd like to read it for yourself. The brief summary though is that the fee was actually £50 to charge either for an hour or to 80%, whichever came first. Which still sounds absolutely staggering, and if you've got a tiny battery car like an IMEV or something like that, then it's even worse, isn't it? The cost per kilowatt hour is huge. But the bottom line is that this was meant to be an emergency measure only, and you'd only use it if you literally weren't going to have enough charge to get yourself to another charger on the way home. The organisers didn't actually want you to charge your electric car on site. It was an emergency, almost recovery type measure being provided in partnership with the AA to keep people moving and stop people from getting stuck. I mean, they were even using a diesel generator to power the chargers. A generator that's apparently on site permanently for other reasons rather than just being shipped in for this purpose. It reminds me a little bit of that startup that has a generator on a trailer that can rapid charge you if you run out. Flash Charge it's called, where it's like a supplementary emergency recovery service that sort of complements your breakdown cover, and rather than towing you to a charger, they can turn up, charge you for a bit and see you on your way. I'm not convinced there's a huge market for either. I mean, you'll pay handsomely if you ever want to use that type of service, and it really is, at the end of the day, targeting the unprepared and the worrisome. So yes, you could choose to get ripped off for charging your car at Glastonbury, £50, not £80, just like you could choose to pay a fortune for a pint of beer or a crappy burger, but the choice was entirely yours. I think it demonstrates very well that pop-up rapid charging like this for events is difficult, expensive and best avoided, but I don't think it demonstrates the downfall of civilization or any of the other doom-mongering comments I saw about this. I'm sure at the end of the day, if they had a service where they could sell you a jerry can of diesel at Glastonbury because you were running out and you weren't going to make it out of the farm, they would charge you £10 a litre for that as well. So I don't think this is an EV problem, I think this is a you tend to get ripped off for things at festivals problem. Next up, Mercedes have set a new world record for EV range after their EQXX Vision concept travels 746 miles on a single charge, which actually beats its own previous record of 620 miles and absolutely smashes that 1,000 kilometre barrier. The German premium car brand's zero-emissions concept car travelled the distance in real-world driving conditions on a journey that took it from Stuttgart in Germany to the UK's Silverstone race circuit, where it was welcomed by the Formula 1 and Formula E experts who helped develop it. On its long-range journey from Germany to the UK, it was able to negotiate an autobahn closure and demanding cross-country diversions near Stuttgart before entering France and crossing the English Channel via the Eurotunnel. Continuing its journey in the UK, it took the M25 around London and then stopped off at Mercedes-Benz Grand Prix in Brackley. Throughout the road trip, the Vision EQXX took advantage of its innovative thermal management system to achieve an average consumption of 8.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres in the face of heavy traffic and summer temperatures. Ugh, I absolutely hate that measurement of consumption, because as technically accurate as it may be, I mean, I hate it slightly less than watt hours per mile, which Tesla seem a big fan of. But let's talk about a metric people can actually understand here. That's 7.57 miles per kilowatt hour, and I think you'll be a little bit more familiar with that. And that's 3 times more efficient than the Audi e-tron 55 I had a few months ago. So that is definitely some impressive stuff there. The longest EV range available in the current Mercedes model range is that of the EQS luxury saloon, which claims to be capable of a 453 miles WLTP from a 107.8 kWh lithium-ion battery. The EQXX has a 100 kWh battery with a footprint that is 50% smaller and 30% lighter than the pack in the EQS, which is quite staggering really. It's impressive stuff from Mercedes, and although these concept cars are rarely representative of what we'll actually find ourselves with in the real world once the accountants have had their say, it's a really good demonstration of what is technically possible, and I definitely think it should be applauded. Next up, charging infrastructure news, which you all know I'm a big fan of. InstaVolt, largely loved for their reliability and perhaps not so loved for the tight charging bays and the 57 pence per kilowatt hour tariff, have just launched their first ultra-rapid charging hub in Wales. InstaVolt has opened its latest ultra-rapid charging hub at the Rhug Estate in Wales. The site, which sits on the A5, includes 8 ultra-rapid 120 kilowatt InstaVolt chargers, boosting EV facilities in an underserved part of Britain. According to a report from the Department of Transport in April 22, Denbighshire has an exceptionally low ratio of EV charging devices to its population. As electric vehicle usage continues to rise, there is a significant desire for rapid charging points across Wales to address the regional disparities that exist within the EV charging network, said Adrian Keane, CEO of InstaVolt. The site has been opened ahead of the summer holiday period, with the companies anticipating increased demand due to staycations. Oh, I hate that word, it's awful. It sits 3 miles west of Corwin, where traffic from Manchester and Chester meet the main A5, making it a strategic location for those visiting West Wales. It is great to be going live with our car charging points by InstaVolt, and we have been asked by customers every day when they will be live, as there's been a great deal of anticipation around the opening, said Lord Newborough, owner of the Rhug Estate. Rhug is the gateway to Snowdonia and the west coast of Wales, so it's a natural stopping off point to recharge your car and enjoy a nice break in the farm shop and cafe here. InstaVolt have increased their network of EV chargers by more than 45% in the past year and are targeting 10,000 rapid chargers by 2032. In February, it announced a 1,000 rapid charger target for the summer, following the installation of its 700th charger. I think this is fantastic news from InstaVolt, and another charging hub is a thing to definitely be very happy about. I would rather they weren't using those 120 kilowatt BYD chargers, which can only actually deliver 80 to 90 kilowatts to 400 volt cars, and they aren't particularly known for their reliability when you compare them to the other hardware on their network, but that's definitely just nitpicking at the end of the day, and we should be very happy that another area that's considerably devoid of chargers now has them in abundance at what sounds like a great location. And finally, MG have unveiled their facelift MG5 estate for the UK market at last week's Goodwood Festival of Speed. It was announced for the European market quite some time ago, but there was loads of speculation as to whether we'd ever even see it in this country. They haven't announced any firm specifications for the facelifted MG5 in the UK, but they've said that further details, including the local pricing and expected delivery dates, will be released very soon. The automaker says the MG5 EV has sold more than 8,000 in the UK since its launch in November 2020. If you want to learn more about the facelift MG5, or at least the version they currently sell in Europe anyway, watch this next video.